Hello and welcome back to another episode of Come Over for Dinner. I'm Bess Hawthorne and I'm so excited you're joining me today. Today I'm joined by two very special guests, Kim and Kristina Hatcher. We are going to talk about Easter. We have a special episode planned. There's lots of fun ideas and traditions that they're going to share with us that they've started in their family and have continued for many years. So I'm very excited to hear all of the tips and recipes and fun things that they do, and hopefully it will be a blessing to you as well. Welcome, Kim and Kristina.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So I have heard of your feaster. Tell me a little bit about how this 3-day celebration started.
One of my sons had the idea that we should broaden our celebration of Easter and give it the weight that it should have compared to our other holidays. And so he really developed an agenda, the first year's agenda, which was multiple days of different activities and food. And in that first year, actually, he had, in addition to our meals, after every meal, he had an assigned reading to each head of the household that they read that. So it was kind of trying to develop an Easter liturgy. We haven't continued to do it that way, but really beef up your Easter celebration. And he also wanted for he and his siblings, my children, to be the main engine behind it in terms of the ideas. We still host everything at our home because we have the space, but they really do all of the organizing and developing what's going to happen when, which is a huge blessing to my husband and me.
Well, and I should say, add into that a part of like where the chops come for this. This is like, even though we started this recently at Thanksgiving, we do a very similar thing there. We're 3 days of feasting for Thanksgiving. And that is something that Mom and Dad and Uncle Nate and Aunt Kelly, Uncle Craig and Aunt Sandy, they've all done for over 30 years. And so that's something that has kind of become a big, massive thing, started as a 3-day feast, but like not with quite such the gusto that it has now. So this is not wow, we just picked it up and decided we're going to do this thing all at once. And here it is, 5-6 years old, and it's already massive. So encouragement for your listeners that it takes some a bigger on-ramp than the optics might look for us. But
right. It does evolve over time. You learn what you can do. You add slowly and build, and more people contribute, and you figure things out. And it doesn't have to start off maybe as a full-blown 3-day.
No. Right. Yeah. And wherever you start, I mean, it's kind of like the Thanksgiving feast. We started with that. And wherever you start, you will build if it's a faithful endeavor. And that's what we've seen. We started with Thanksgiving, and I think that was Russell's point, was we need to ramp up Easter in terms of
We're already doing this at Thanksgiving, and it's not even as important as Easter.
Right.
At Thanksgiving, do you do Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Is that the celebration days?
We do Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, and we wrap up with pancakes Saturday morning.
Okay. Oh, how fun. This needs to be another episode. You might hear a Thanksgiving episode at some point from the Hatchers. Stay tuned. All right. So you started this tradition a few years ago, and it's evolved. We were discussing earlier what year was it and exactly when? And I know these things kind of evolve over time until a few years into it, you're calling it a different name, like it's Feaster, and we're doing it for 3 days, and you actually have a plan. Sometimes when things first start, there's not an exact plan in place. It's just, we want to celebrate better. We want to have bigger celebrations. And what does that look like? And how do we do it? And y'all are figuring it out. So I love that. How many people do you have? I know it's your family that comes to Kim's house. And how many children do you have again, Kim?
I have 6. 5 of them are married and have their own kids. So I think we're at about 30 with my children and their children.
Okay. So 6 kids and
Roughly.
how many grandchildren? Obviously, there's in-laws and then
Yes.
grandchildren.
So we have 20.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what are their age ranges right now?
Cyrus is the oldest. He is 12. And Nora is the baby, and she is 7 or 8 months.
That is a lot of children to feed and entertain and keep all under one roof. So the idea started with coming to Kim's house. So walk me through what that looks like. You start on Good Friday, is that right?
We do. You have to start talking.
She's telling her daughter-in-law, Kristina, that.
Yeah, so on Good Friday, it starts in the evening with dinner, and it's for Good Friday, the schedule is kind of clips along at a good pace because we have the Good Friday service at church, and Dad is the pastor, so he has to be there. So we start with a meal, and then we all leave for the Good Friday service. And then when we come back, we put kids down, like little guys, and then we often stay up and do something, play cards. I think one year we maybe watched a movie or something. And there's 2 of the couples are particularly good at drinks and doing cocktails. So that's often a feature of Friday night.
That's fun. The kids are in bed and the adults are still starting the party.
Yes. Oh, and the being in bed part, that is a very necessary part of the feast, that we all move in for, a few days. It's not just coming in and out, which is especially fun. All the families have a lot of littles. And so we're often, when we get together the rest of the year, we don't get to stay late to do stuff yet because tired kids. So that makes it extra special that we, get to have the late night party for the adults and bigger
What
kids.
most people would be asking is, how do you have 30 people in your house? Extra. Well, at least most of them are extra.
The feaster the last couple years, when it's been that kind of a number, not everybody has been in town. So we've been able to do it with couches and bedrooms and closets and pack and plays. And one time, not for Easter, but for Christmas, Christina's family, the kids slept in the garage with heaters. So
yeah.
So we haven't done all 30 spending the night, I don't think, yet.
Well, but it's a big garage, so we have got room to grow.
Just lay out the sleeping bags.
Yeah. Well, and you do have to kind of come with the mindset. And this has been something that's evolved for our family, I think. The oldest ones that have the kids first get flexible first. And you have to really come with adjusted expectations in terms of sleep and tidiness and time schedule. And for that reason, sometimes the entire feast is not very stranger friendly. The family that doesn't have anywhere to go, it isn't always a blessing to them.
Right. It's just a very comfortable, casual family gathering where there's sleeping bags on the floor and toys everywhere. Yeah. And I know what you mean.
Yeah. We do on Saturday. Well, I'm probably getting ahead of you, so I'll let you ask the question.
Okay. Well, before we move on to Saturday, one thing that did pop in my mind is it reminds me of something like a weekend getaway. You know how families get together and have a family reunion, not all the extended family, but like a weekend at a cabin somewhere. Mm-hmm. I know what you mean when you say it would be hard to bring in a stranger to that and feel like you're being hospitable. Mm-hmm. It would be more like, welcome to our chaos. It's just kids and crayons and crying and food. And you just, when everybody brings all that amount of stuff, all the things you would need to stay for a weekend, it doesn't matter how much you straighten and organize. There's just piles of things everywhere. But it's such a fun weekend. If you ever have done that before, a cabin for the weekend with your family, maybe kids and grandkids, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun. So many fun memories. And of course, you're saving loads of money if there's a family's home that you can go to. And it also helps that there's a kitchen with all the things and tools in place that you need. Mm-hmm. So that's a really fun idea. Okay, so now we've talked about Friday. The kids come. Did you mention what you serve for Friday nights? I know you said cocktails when kids are in bed.
Yeah, we usually do. I don't know how. I think I ended up having a bunch of this in my freezer one year. And so traditionally, we've done pizza pot pie. I'm not really sure how we got there.
That sounds delicious.
But that
20
is
kids would give that a 5 out of 5 star.
Right. That's right.
That's amazing. So pizza pot pie, and then some great cocktails that evening after they're in bed, and then Saturday morning. What happens on Saturday?
on Saturday, we open up to my maiden name is Gilman. And so it becomes an extended Gilman invite to all of my siblings and their children and grandchildren and whatnot. And they come over for a big brunch and an Easter egg hunt and all that kind of stuff for the morning into the afternoon.
And so you're asking about how to host 30 people. I was going to say 30 people is small potatoes.
That's nothing. So for the brunch, are you saying more people come?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
How many are in the brunch?
I should have done these numbers ahead of time for
Oh,
you.
that's okay. You
But
can estimate
yeah,
or guesstimate.
I would say like another 25 probably.
Yeah.
Another 25 probably.
Okay,
20,
so
20.
again, people are going to be thinking about the logistics. For one, what do you serve? But then also, how are you cooking? There's 20 kids everywhere.
Mhm.
How do you cook? Do you cook ahead of time and have everything ready to just pull out? Like we've already prepped this a week ago, things are in the freezer. Or do families come with large, those big disposable foil pans full of things that you're just pulling out every meal? How does that part of it work?
I have really tried with this feast as well as our Thanksgiving feast. And it's hard, but I really do try to put the requirement that food has to come prepared as much as it can because it really gets crazy if you're trying to cook on top of everything else. And certainly that doesn't work all the time, but I really become
A
strong.
stickler.
Yes, I do.
You have strong opinions about this.
I do because you have so many people and prep is just so messy and whatnot. So we really do try to minimize on the spot from the beginning prep. I mean, you certainly have to rewarm things and things like that. And we do a lot of rewarming. We have chafing dishes that we use. And the brunch is my children have done a really great job, Kristina and a couple others, of setting us up on Google Docs and spreadsheets and whatnot. So we have a pretty established food list and sign up for different things. And the people that join us on Saturday contribute a lot to that brunch. They bring things and we have signups for that and whatnot. And again, most of it comes prepared. We may have to heat it up.
Okay, these are great ideas. Being able to see how does this happen will make people have confidence that they can pull it off. And I do, being from the South, I do love a good potluck. People coming with prepared food and from their own kitchens and it's all ready to go sounds fabulous. And I do understand what you're saying as far as prepping ahead of time makes all the difference in being able to do it well and not spend all your time chopping, slicing, dicing, clean up. It would just take too much time for that many people. What is the sign up sheet that you use? Did you mention that? Is it Sign Up Genius or
It's just Google Docs.
Google Docs?
Yeah.
And you share the document.
Mm-hmm.
And then people just go on there and type their name beside it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times then, we need 3 egg dishes. So yeah, put your name next to an egg dish if you're going to claim that. We need someone to bring orange juice, someone to bring champagne, that kind of thing.
The Google Docs is really nice because you can go back to last year kind of as your framework in terms of how many of everything you needed and then just readjust and send it out and people sign up. It's been wonderful. That part of it has been really great.
And your basic menu, tell me what that is.
On Saturday, we have a number of egg dishes, and it's really what you want to bring. We're not very specific about that. And a number of sweet dishes, so sweet breads or French toast casserole or something like that. Some fruit salads, and then fixings for mimosa.
And meats, we do
And
like
meats,
bacon or
bacon and
sausage or
sausage.
whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
And usually Dad does the meat
Mhm.
because he
Mhm.
smokes it on a smoker
Mhm.
here.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds so delicious. The one problem I'm seeing with this whole situation is that I would want to taste a little bit of everything. And my plate would sure run out of room real fast. I don't have that big of an appetite for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, yeah, and this actually happens usually about like 10 o'clock.
It's
So
later.
it's really a
Later
brunch.
It's a brunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But also, this is great for all the littles that are in the house. Mom, well, actually, it's Nathan.
Yes.
But when the uncle's, his thing is to bring cereal to share with the kids. So early risers get Lucky Charms or, something real fun.
Something they don't normally get every morning.
Yes. Yeah.
And for that, just in terms of how you do it, I have paper bowls, plastic spoons. I never thought I would say this, but I have become very fond of disposable mass utensils and place settings, and much, much, much of the feaster is paper, plastic, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Again, another way to pull it off, to be able to do this for 3 days, meal after meal, including snacks for the kids. Do you buy a lot of your items from somewhere like Costco or Sam's Club, or do you have a favorite place to go?
Costco is local to us, and then U.S. Chef store is also, used to be cash and carry. I don't know if everywhere it's changed, but those are probably the biggest places that
How far in advance do you feel like you have to prep and plan?
Not as soon as most people would be comfortable with.
A day. No. Well, honestly,
No.
if everyone's contributing and it's
Yeah.
not all on you, that makes a big difference in the
Yeah.
amount of time you have to spend on it. Because you do have your part, but it's not just this massive amount of things.
We try to get the Google Doc out at least a week ahead of time. Everybody's kind of aware of the general flow of things. But so in terms of getting stuff out for what you're going to have to prepare and that kind of thing, I think we try to do a week, maybe a little more.
And for the agenda too.
And for the agenda. Yeah.
Well, and as it goes on year after year, people already kind of know what they want to do, or they've thought about, say you have a fabulous egg dish you made at Christmas time. Oh, I'm going to do this for Easter. And they already know they're going to sign up for it. So it's not like they're recreating the wheel as soon as that document
Or somebody's
comes out.
saying, you have to bring that again.
Exactly. There's a hit and they know, okay, I'm doing this year after year. Everybody's requesting it. That's great. So Saturday brunch, everybody eats, and then you have an Easter egg hunt for the kids. Do parents bring a certain amount of Easter eggs already filled? Kind of like to contribute, or do you do all of that, Kim?
Well, no, we don't. And I love this part of it. We send the kids out to play, or sometimes we've put a movie on for them or something. And the generation that is my kids, so Kristina and that batch, they all bring a bag of candy or 2 or 3 and eggs. And I have a big silver bowl, and we just throw all the candy in, and they actually make fill the eggs, and then they go out and hide the eggs right then. So it's kind of all part of the event is stuffing the eggs, and it's a
you
good
don't
time.
have to do the work ahead of time.
That would be so much.
It would be so much
work. Yeah. But it's fun. Yeah.
You're sitting around talking, and with that many helping hands, it happens really quickly. I like that idea too.
And they don't get to see each other as much, all of their cousins and whatnot. And so it's just, I love that, watching you all do that. It's really, really fun.
And does everybody bring just candy, or are there any little toys you put in there, or little like animal figurines, or just candy for this Easter egg hunt?
Mostly candy. Maybe, we'll do some for the little kids with goldfish or Teddy Grahams or some quarters or something like that. But it's heavy on the candy.
Right.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about a special egg?
Oh.
There was in our family one year we came out with a special egg. There was actually a package that had a silver and a gold, and we did money as the kids got older. There was candy too, but there was also money and some eggs. Well, the special gold egg was bigger and had more money in it. The silver, I can't remember what the denominations were, but the silver had a little less. And then one year we got real silly. There was this teensy tiny little yellow egg. I have no idea where it came from because I know we didn't buy it. Maybe it was found on another hunt that they did with someone else, but it was the tiniest little yellow egg. And that was the prize. Like there was maybe $10 in there.
Wow.
Find the tiniest little egg. This is when they were older, probably teenage years. But when they were little, it was really fun when they were teenagers. When they were little, there were some tears over who found the golden egg because then all of a sudden it felt like, well, I'm left out. I didn't get the gold one. Like, oh dear, did we create something that isn't good? But they got better at it, as they were older, they understood it was more of a competition. So I don't know.
Well, as we have, my husband Tyler and I have had kind of conversations about egg hunts for a while now because we have this egg hunt at mom and dad's, and then our church also does an egg hunt. And yeah, Easter can be a great time for greed. We found where it runs wild. So one thing that we've done at the feaster that has been helpful is there are kind of tiers of seekers. So they send out the 2 and unders first, and there's an area of the property that kind of right by the porch that where all the really easy eggs are, and then I don't know what we do, 5 and unders or something. Mm-hmm. There's just a little bit further out and a little harder to find, and then the whole property is fair game for the big kids. And I think I'm trying to remember, some years I think we've sent them out staggered in time, like little kids and bigger kids and old kids. And sometimes it's been, you're not allowed to hunt in this area.
Yeah.
So
right, leave the eggs for the little ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember quite how we did it in later years, but I think we did move away from the gold and silver until they were a little older. Maybe that would have been for the third group. There was lots of eggs, but then there was a few special hidden ones, and
I love that
for. Yeah, that's really fun. That is fun.
Those, of course, like I said, had the most money in it compared to the other ones that had quarters or $1 or, maybe a penny. I don't even remember what we did, just whatever change we could find, which is harder and harder to do when people, use cards now. It's like, ooh, do I even have? I'm going to have to go to the bank to get money.
Now maybe the pennies are the most valuable.
Right. We're no longer minting pennies. So save your pennies. So we've done Saturday brunch, Saturday Easter egg hunt. That's over. What happens next?
After brunch, and the Easter egg hunt, it's a little bit of a downtime, and then kind of splinter off, clean up and recover from brunch. The oldest grandkids are boys, and so they like to go play basketball or something like that out on the driveway. And then there's a bunch of girls after that, and so a lot of times we end up going and painting nails or doing some kind of fun girly thing. And
you guys have done the Easter egg dyeing.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the time to fit in this sort of the small, things that aren't necessarily big enough to have a chunk on the schedule. But we've done Easter egg dyeing. One year we made resurrection rolls, which are just like the Pillsbury crescent rolls wrapped around a marshmallow. Yeah. Yeah. Got those prepped for the next day. Yeah. Just small little.
Mm-hmm. And the younger kids are, napping, a lot of them.
Yeah. By that point, it's like 1 in the afternoon. Yeah.
Right. Well, again, having the prepared food come allows you to have the afternoon to paint nails or dye eggs or whatever. Typically, moms would be in there trying to create dinner and spend tons of time on that instead of the other. So bringing something you can just heat up makes a lot of sense. You can really enjoy your time with each other. We once took all of our kids to Florida, and I had that same idea. I want to be able to be out there enjoying all the things they're doing. I do not want to be in the cabin or in the little condo cooking and preparing food constantly and cleaning up while they're all out on the beach playing. And we brought spike ball and little boogie boards and, just whatever. They were going to be out there having fun. They're not going to be in the house. And a lot of times that's where mom ends up missing out on all the fun while she's doing the work, which sometimes is necessary. But at other times, you really can plan ahead and make sure that you are a part of the vacation, the feast, the whatever, if you just put in the work ahead of time. We were driving, so I was able to do this, but I cooked probably weeks ahead of time, just as I had time, cooked extra and put it in disposable dishes and put it in the freezer. And then when we loaded up a cooler, I just pulled all those meals into the cooler. We had snacks and drinks that I had planned and cookies, that sort of thing. And when we got there, we had more food than we could eat. And it was so fabulous because I could just pop it into the oven. Dinner's ready. And it was homemade. And of course, we went out for some fresh seafood too. I will admit we did eat out some, but not 3 meals a day with 7 of us. So I love that idea. So everybody is having a great time in the afternoon. Maybe it's rest time, nap time for little ones, even parents. And then the evening, somebody has prepared some food. Do you have a tradition for Saturday evening? Is there a favorite dish that people bring?
It has tended to be Greek food. And I will say that in that afternoon time, there is often somebody is prepping something for dinner. Because that meal has been a little harder to do ahead of time, we've noticed. But again, it's minimal, I would say, for the amount of food that we end up putting out. So we have done Greek. I think Tim and Anna Edwards were over years ago, and we're talking about Tim's Mediterranean cuisine cooking that I never got to experience myself, but my kids, a number of them
really
have.
good.
Yeah. So we kind of riffed off of that idea, but nothing like his, I'm sure. But we do kefka and
I think Greek chicken
Greek
and
chicken
naan.
and tzatziki sauce and hummus and
I said naan. That's not Mediterranean pita.
yeah,
yeah.
Naan would also be delicious, but I know what you mean.
yeah, and couscous and
Yeah, so some of that needs to be prepared last minute, but some of it can be done ahead of time, which would make it easy. So you kind of do a little bit of both there.
Yep.
And then that evening, is there more celebrations after the kids go to bed? Saturday evening. So this would be right the night before Easter Sunday.
Yeah. And most of the non-extended Hatcher crew has left in the afternoon. So my siblings and their families usually are gone by that time. And once in a while, well, you need to ask Kristina about the time we did invite friends. So
For Saturday night?
For the whole thing. But anyway,
okay, I'll ask her.
So that evening is a little more of our just traditional Sabbath dinner, except for the food. The food is different and fun that way, but it's pretty normal Sabbath dinner.
Yeah.
And probably when the kids go down, we probably stay up later than usual and play cards or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like, because it's not a super long established tradition, it does change every year. But I think last year, maybe last 2 years, we had like a movie one night and then cards the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Change it up a little bit.
And Kristina, I hear I'm supposed to ask you about the year. You didn't have it be just family. You invited others to join you for what, the 3-day celebration?
Yes. Yeah. So that was family that just the way it had lined up, we had all kind of gone through college with their kids as well. So it's like there had been lots of roommate pairings through college and then just stayed in touch really, really well. And so they're just a really close family. And one of their wives had been diagnosed with cancer. And so we were just kind of like, well, what if we celebrate resurrection real hard and invite them out for it? And all but one of their families was able to come. And that, I think, was like one of our favorite feasters. Yeah, because it was just, there's nothing to make you just more joyful about Easter than the reality of death in front of you. Yeah. And that was just really fun. So that one was even bigger, and we kind of extended it beyond just mom and dad's, and that we couldn't all sleep here. And so kind of each Hatcher family had one of the Trotter families in our houses. So we would go back home with whoever.
Whichever family you were hosting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really fun.
And I think that year, actually, all of my kids were home for that one.
Yeah.
Which was super wonderful because
that is
almost,
so special.
Yeah, almost for each of my kids, there was a corresponding Trotter kid who had been in school together with them and whatnot. And it was wonderful. It was really wonderful.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after a quick message from today's sponsors. Are you searching for hands-on activities to help your kids explore the practical side of science? Look no further than your kitchen. Inquisicook blends food science and culinary arts into an engaging program that puts delicious food on the family table. Let Inquisicook do the teaching with lesson videos, reliable recipes, and assessment tools that put students on track for success. Their online platform is easy to navigate and optimized for mobile, so the learning experience can move from the classroom to the kitchen without a hitch. Inquisicook turns curious students into intuitive cooks, not just recipe followers. Say goodbye to the tyranny of the ingredients list and say hello to utilizing what's in season, what's on sale, or what's in the fridge. Visit Inquisicook.com to view sample lessons, then check out the recipe gallery to see just how crave-worthy science can be. Be a time traveler. Sail the seas with Odysseus, escape prison with Edmond Dantes, and defend the innocent with Ivanhoe. Join us at timetravelersliterature.com. Enter a whole world of story where books uncover the riches of other books, where you discuss classic stories with other homeschool students, and where you are the time traveler, appreciating the work in its own literary tradition, its time in history, and its culture. Find out more and enroll in courses at timetravelersliterature.com.
We should talk about Sunday, what happens on Sunday, because I thought that was just the best.
On that one, or just all of them?
Well, maybe we did it on Saturday, actually, afternoon, when we do the tastings and the readings.
That is the best part. I think that year we did it on Saturday, but usually it's on Sunday.
Yeah. They have to leave on Sunday.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it the beer garden?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is usually on Saturday now?
No, usually it's Sunday after church.
Okay. We'll do that when we talk about Sunday then.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we leave Saturday, we've kind of missed talking about the Holy Week liturgy that you do. And it actually starts on Friday, doesn't it? It starts on Monday in your own homes.
Yeah.
So your church, your family does a Holy Week liturgy written by Doug Jones, who is an author, and I'm not actually sure what all he does. He's a man of many talents, but he has written a Holy Week liturgy that starts on Monday before Easter Sunday and goes for 7 days. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yes, well, it's some readings paired with, like, you do a reading and sing a song, and then you drink some wine and eat some chocolate, and then it kind of alternates that a few cycles. You do one every day, and then on Thursday, the Father takes away the wine and the chocolate because that was the day that he was arrested. And especially with little kids, every year there's some tears when the wine and chocolate go away. But it's kind of sweet because it just brings it home to them in a way that just, sitting through.
They are really listening for the resurrection story.
Well, yeah, it's, all through the readings, it's like some of the passages might be long for a 2-year-old, and they're just sitting there looking at the chocolate, like, why can I have the chocolate? Why can I have the chocolate? And then it's taken away. And it's really sad, because Jesus was taken away. And then, so on Friday, when we all gather together, we do that as a group. If there's time, sometimes we're racing out the door, and then Saturday we do it again. And then Sunday morning, we've built it in. We do, some years it's been like actually a sunrise service. Some years it's like, little kids are still in bed or whatever. So it'll just be with breakfast. But Then you bring it all back with gusto. Then it's like big pieces of chocolate and champagne or orange juice or whatever. Yeah. And so then all the treats are back and
And the
then
2-year-olds are rejoicing and all tears are gone. So the liturgy ends on Sunday. That morning is the end, and then you go to Easter Sunday services.
Yeah, that's right.
You mentioned sunrise service possibly, or waking up and doing liturgy with your breakfast. Do you have a special breakfast for Sunday morning?
We do. It's simpler. So when we do the liturgy, it's before breakfast. So,
okay.
And that's a little tricky with champagne and chocolate.
What a treat.
We had to fit it in before church. So,
right.
So then we usually have dyed eggs out, hard-boiled eggs or donuts or something light or cinnamon rolls sometimes and meat. But it's not a huge layout the way that Saturday is.
I think sometimes we've also done a French toast casserole, which can be prepped and put in the fridge the night before, and then you just bake it the morning of, and that is a big hit.
Yeah, one great thing about breakfast food is a lot of it can be done ahead of time. Pastries, cinnamon rolls, casseroles, you just prep them and, like you said, just cook them when you wake up. Even chocolate croissants. I love the chocolate croissants from Trader Joe's. I know I've mentioned this on here before, but if you have a Trader Joe's nearby, it's may have gone up to $6 for a box, but inside is 4 chocolate croissants. You open the box, lay them out on a cookie sheet, and when you wake up the next morning, they look beautiful. You just put them in the oven, and that's it. It's zero work. They are absolutely delicious. They have 2 bars of chocolate in there, which I am really picky about. And so we actually did that for Valentine's Day this year. Just to have something special. I didn't have time to make cinnamon rolls or something heart-shaped and make a real big deal out of it, but we had those chocolate croissants for breakfast.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So you have breakfast and then you all go to church together.
Yeah, and then at church, there's an Easter egg hunt again after the service, which is just more candy and rejoicing for those 2-year-olds.
Absolutely. Just fit it all in.
Yes.
And then does everyone go to their own homes, or do you come back to keep celebrating together? Easter lunch. I know you have Easter lunch together.
Yeah, we do come back. And this is the favorite part, although there is a meal usually, always. Well, we used to just do appetizers, but now we come home from church and we do something that has either like pulled pork or something we've smoked on the smoker. I will get this recipe out. I got it from a friend last year. It was the first time we tried it. It is like smoked ham, but you have a ham that's already cooked and you smoke it in addition, double smoked, or I can't remember. I will find it for you. I thought it was so good. Ham is not my favorite thing, but this was really, really good.
Okay, we need this recipe. That sounds amazing.
I need to track it down. And it was very easy to put on and leave while we were at church and whatnot.
And actually a leftover from that year that we had the other family as well. The mom had made key lime pies.
Yes.
And so now we have key lime pie after Sunday, after the ham. So.
It's funny how you do something and it sticks. And that's really how traditions evolve. You don't really have a set thing every year necessarily. It can change. Like one year you're doing scalloped potatoes, another year you might do mashed potatoes. And that's fine. It's fun to have some creativity. But it is nice to look forward to something that you know will be there year after year after year because it's just such a hit. Everybody has to have it on that menu. Would you say anything else is on your menu that has to be there? Like the smoked ham sounds like a hit. What else do you do besides the key lime pie?
I think we had some pineapple and maybe some baked pineapple also last year. And really the Sunday thing has changed as we have gained more weight in the grandchildren category because we used to do our big event on Sunday ends up being that beer garden thing. And we used to just do appetizers with that. And now we need a full-fledged, legit meal after church. for the kids and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we've done two things the same.
Yeah.
Key lime pie, we've done 2 years in a row now, for sure.
Yeah. I think everything else is just still settling into a tradition.
Sure.
Or maybe won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just
I
kind
think
of
we'll
keep
definitely
flexing.
keep the ham.
Yes,
And we're
yeah.
definitely going to keep the key lime pie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, on feasts like that, it's fun to just come up with what your favorite thing is. Somebody brings deviled eggs, somebody else brings a potato, somebody else brings the asparagus or green beans or broccoli or whatever it is that they find that they really enjoy making, or maybe a new recipe or whatever. So those are great traditions. And then you mentioned a beer garden. What is this?
Yeah, so this is the highlight of the feast, I think, or the feaster. And actually, Mom said that she doesn't feel always that it's a blessing to invite other people over, but this is one that
And
a lot of
we have,
times,
yes.
that
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
There's other people that come along for this. But everyone is told to bring a beer to share and for a tasting. And usually someone's also in charge of bringing some fun pop for the little kids, or maybe a flight. And I think one year there was Russell that brought a whole bunch of different orange sodas.
Yes.
Yeah, try
Kids, yeah.
try Fanta, try I don't know what.
Kids.
Yeah, all kinds of different ones, and yeah, it was cute to see them be so serious about telling the differences. And so everybody gets a chance to kind of introduce their beer and also to share some kind of reading or song or
Just
scripture.
did a painting.
Yeah,
here.
a painting
Shared
that
a
was
painting.
really
Yeah.
great.
So what was the
a
painting?
meditation on Easter.
Mhm.
The painting that he did, I think, is called Ecce Homo. And I can't remember who it was by, but it's a picture of Pontius Pilate saying, behold the man, Ecce Homo. And it's just from a different perspective instead of like looking from the crowd up into or up at Jesus. It's from behind, and you can kind of see the turmoil in Pilate's household. There's his wife kind of like turning away, covering her face. So he kind of walked us through. He is an artist, and so he had given some more thought to it and walked us through kind of
I see.
that.
I was thinking someone had done a painting, or that y'all were painting together, something like that. I see what you're saying. When people
Yeah.
come, they'd bring not just a beer, but they prepare something like like you're saying, they're showing a painting and explaining
Yeah.
kind of almost like a small art class, like what does this painting depict and what did the artist try to show here?
Mhm.
And then songs too.
Yeah.
Or reading, something you've read that particularly is share worthy.
Mhm.
And particularly about Easter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And do you ask each adult to try to bring one thing, or is it just if you want to?
We try to have people bring one thing, but as we've opened it up to other people, we don't want them to feel pressured. A lot of times it's very intimidating.
Mhm.
And so we'll say, we will have readings or songs that we'll share. Feel free to bring one if you'd like. But
otherwise, you'll
yeah.
just sit and enjoy it. You don't have to.
Yeah. That particular event was particularly lovely and potent with the year that we had it with the other family, because we had been talking and praying so for the woman who was diagnosed with cancer. And so all of the readings and all of the thoughts about resurrection and death just were so much more tangible, or
Mhm.
it was wonderful. It was really, really wonderful.
Wow, what a blessing to
Mhm.
her and her family to be able to be surrounded by friends who are speaking those truths, reminding them of the truth, celebrating what's to come for her and for all of us eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely felt way more. We received way more than we gave in terms of that time. I did. I just felt like it was just such a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That speaks to thinking through who you want to invite. Some years it may be just your immediate family, but then there may be years where it would be such a blessing to you and to other people to think of other people to bring into your celebration.
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just for a part of it, like your side of the family on the brunch,
Mhm.
or other people to the beer garden
Mhm.
tastings and
Mhm.
readings and that sort of thing. That's another really great idea. So after this is over, is that the big finale? Is everyone done after that and everybody gathers the children and
It is. We
it's
have
the
one
end?
thing that was Christina's idea that we didn't pull off yet that we must do. And you should
No,
explain it.
yeah, well, yeah.
I still
Actually,
have the dragon head.
yeah. Oh, do you? Okay, maybe this year we'll do it.
We just ran out of steam.
Yeah, it was an idea that I saw on actually where I think where you found out about our feaster on that same post on Facebook. Someone said that they do a dragon pinata to symbolize killing the dragon. And so, yeah, we were going to end with that. I think it was raining or something. There was
Yeah.
not a great place to do it that year.
Yeah.
The plans changed. Our kids were falling apart. I don't remember.
More candy.
Yeah.
The idea is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we'll work that in somewhere.
So did you order a dragon pinata from somewhere and you have it in store for this year?
I do. Yes, I think it's some, derivative of Chinese New Year. or something.
Probably. That's still a pretty good dragon.
Yeah, but it was just a big dragon head. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. And do you fill it with candy? Or is that your plan?
That is the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
More candy.
More candy and a really great finale for kids.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, to end on candy flying everywhere, you can't get much better than that.
And your last memory is Jesus wins. The dragon is done.
Right.
So,
The dragon has been defeated.
yeah.
And just a little note on all the candy too. As our kids have gotten older, and so we have a 12-year-old, and we have the 7-month-old is also ours. And so with that big age range in our own family, there's kids that are a lot more capable of collecting a lot of candy than the kids that get like 2 pieces and then are crying because they don't get enough or whatever. But we have just kind of ended up back at home pooling our candy, and it's like, you don't get your own. This is our family pot and you get to share, but also instructing our big kids in, you are going to get so much candy this weekend. Do not worry that you are not going to get enough, and your job is to look out for the little guys and help them have a good time, because
Right. Don't
you will be
become
taken
a
care of.
greedy hoarder.
Yeah.
So I think the amount of candy has actually kind of helped kind of alleviate some of that, anxiety that kids can have, and help us
They
parents through
know
it a little
there's
bit.
going to be so much that there's going to be a bowl sitting at home for later.
Yes, for months.
Kind of a cool, just as a kind of a closing comment, when you think of other holidays, like I was thinking about all the candy from Halloween or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really awesome to have that bowl of candy or something like that came from Easter, your Easter celebration, because they do pale sometimes to some of our other celebrations in terms of tangible takeaways for the kids. And I just thought of that,
Mm-hmm.
that is really has a lot to do with, I think, how the feaster came to be.
Well, and Easter, I think part of the reason it kind of took until recently to develop the feaster was Easter's a bit of an odd holiday, because with Christmas you have Advent leading up to it, and so that's an exciting time, and the excitement is just building and building and building.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Easter, what leads up to it, if you celebrate Lent, is not not happy. And so Easter just kind of springs on you. Oh, here's this, yay, fun holiday, but it kind of feels like a flash in the pan and then is gone. But in our Hatcher family, we've talked about, like, how do we make Easter a bigger deal? And one way is, the church calendar at least observes it up until Ascension Day. That's all Easter season. Mm-hmm. And so having that pot of candy, it kind of helps perpetuate the Easter season,
right.
for our
kids. It out. Similar to the 12 days of Christmas.
Right. Yeah. So it is helpful for that reason as well.
And leading up to Easter, do you do something every Sunday? I thought I did read that you make something special for breakfast every Sunday leading up to Easter.
I try to. I don't think I've ever completely nailed it every year, but yeah, during Easter we try to do cinnamon rolls and bacon every Sunday just to set that season aside as, hey, we're still celebrating that Jesus rose from the dead.
One way to nail it is to make your cinnamon rolls all at once and put them in the freezer. I don't know what recipe you use. I'm sure I've mentioned this on here before because everybody is so picky about cinnamon rolls. You would have to pick your favorite recipe. You know, there's the whole cream cheese frosting versus the powdered sugar frosting debate. The Pioneer Woman, I don't know if you've heard of her because she's
Hmm.
more in the Oklahoma area, but she's rather big name now. But she has from her first cookbook an original recipe. One of the first ones she ever released was her cinnamon rolls, and they are so, so, so good. In fact, they show up again in her most recent cookbook, which is her essentials, like the essential recipes in my family, the ones that have stood the test of time, and she might have tweaked them a little bit, and some stay the exact same. Well, the cinnamon rolls are in there too, but hers, the frosting is powdered sugar, but it has coffee and maple flavoring
Oh.
and
Yum.
probably some butter, and who even knows? They are the best cinnamon rolls ever. But what I love about them is when you make them, I think it's 7 pans. Like you get those circular foil
Oh.
pans, and I think it's 7 that you make. Maybe it's 8. And of course, she suggests sharing with family and friends and that sort of thing. Take them around to your neighbors, and they're best hot, but you can freeze them. And she has instructions on how to do
Wow.
that. So that's one way you could easily pull out your pans every Sunday.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
Yeah. Did you get her name? Did you already say her name?
The Pioneer Woman.
Her official name is Ree Drummond, but I always say the Pioneer Woman. I think
That
most
lady.
people know her by that because that's the name on her cookbooks, and she does Food Network still, I'm sure, the shows. Okay, well, anything else that we've missed? I was going to ask you about Palm Sunday. Do you do anything like that, like palm branches at your church or in your family? Some people have mentioned that. I know years ago when I was in smaller churches, they had the palm fronds for the kids. We don't do that here. I think in big churches, it's probably hard to have a palm branch for every child and celebrate Palm Sunday.
We do a palm branch, and I don't know. I think it was our secretary that came up with it years and years ago, like 20 years ago. And they take the palm branch and it is shaped into a cross, like the way that they fold it and tuck it and whatnot. And so it's a cross or a sword, or
Usually a sword. Usually a sword.
The boys turn it into a sword.
But our church does hand those out on Sunday.
And Dad, after the sermon, he has a big bowl of candy and says, "Come up and wish me a happy Easter, and I'll get you some candy." So there's that too. Is it a chocolate bunny?
On Easter, it's a chocolate bunny.
Yeah, chocolate bunny.
Yeah.
That's a neat idea too for the church to have something different and more special than the other Sundays in the chocolate bowl. What about Easter baskets? Did we mention Easter baskets, and do you do those in your family?
I do them for my kids. And now it's just like a bag, like a gift bag for my adult children.
That's kind of fun.
It is really
the adults don't usually get gifts at Easter.
It's really fun. And it's very practical. I can't do 20 Easter baskets.
Right.
So I kind of leave Easter baskets or whatever they're going to do to them. And
to your adult children.
Yes. Yeah. And I just try to gift my adult kids. And sometimes I'll have a little something, nail polish for the girls because they're going to be doing their nails, or bubbles, or little, but not always. And it's not like a big grandma Easter basket thing, but I do try to gift my big kids something.
And a lot of times that happens after the Easter egg hunt. Yes, so when the kids are all done, then everybody is sent inside, and the extended family has done this too. So mom and dad and their generation, well, I guess it's usually the dads, and there's 3 of them, and they go out and they hide the gift bags on the property. And it's usually like 1 bag per couple. So then the couples go hunt for their bags too. That's really fun.
Okay, I was going to say I have heard of people doing a scavenger hunt for the kids for their baskets, which I love that idea, but a scavenger hunt for the adults, that's amazing.
I think last year we had some like husband put his wife on his shoulders and she like reached up to the roof. I mean, it gets
Well, how much fun for the kids to watch this. They're probably just laughing at their moms and dads
yes,
having
yeah,
to do what they normally do.
yeah, yeah.
What are the ideas for the adult bags? What do you think of to put in there?
Oh, usually a bottle of wine that we particularly like, and maybe a gift card to a restaurant or some. I really love Trader Joe's for my adult kids in terms of spices that they might not typically grab or cheeses. I think last year actually it was a particular couple kinds of cheeses and wine, crackers, that kind of thing. It varies,
It's like a Christmas stocking.
It is
Yeah,
kind of like a
yeah.
Christmas stocking. Yeah.
Mhm. Trader Joe's is a fabulous place
It's
for
wonderful.
adult
Yes.
type
Yeah.
gift baskets because it's very affordable, but it's
Mhm.
seasonal too. They change
Mhm.
what they have based on the
Mhm.
season. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously they have their staples, but
Yeah.
at Christmas time, you're going to find chocolate peppermint
Yep.
everywhere. And
Yeah.
in springtime, you're going to find other flavors. So
Nice.
different cookies and different cheeses and different wines. So that's a really
Mhm.
fun idea to shop there if you have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. One year, I think I gave a pound of bacon to each of the guys or something.
Very appreciated.
Oh, yes. And they get to eat it all themselves.
That's right.
And then the kids' baskets. What are your ideas for gift baskets for the children?
Well, yeah, so we do that some years. I feel like some years all of our energy goes into the feaster. And so we don't necessarily, but sometimes there have been years instead of a basket to kind of spread out the Easter celebration. My husband and I have given each of our kids like a small gift every Sunday. But generally, where I pull from inspiration for inspiration for that, we have a lot of winter birthdays amongst our family. And so like one of my sons, his birthday is January 1st. So he kind of gets like Christmas and then, his birthday, and then he's done for the year. And so a lot of times I kind of use that as like, okay, there's not like an obvious time to buy him summer stuff. So I'll put in some short sleeve shirts or tank tops, something that he'll enjoy wearing through the summer, or like we've done goggles and swimsuits or, just fun summery things. We've done gardening supplies. Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to think,
just
like
a
maybe like
way
a
of,
sprinkler, things like
yeah,
just
but
to,
a way of presenting it as a gift.
yeah, yeah.
But thinking about the upcoming summer or spring, spring would be
Mm-hmm.
gardening and
Mm-hmm.
summer swimming.
Yeah.
I've read some other ideas recently where people talk about some favorite books that they think of, maybe applying to Easter or not. I know a lot of times at Christmas, people are thinking about a new book for the children. Some people do a new book for summer reading coming up when they have more time.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
I've heard moms mention slingshots, and of course, candy might make its way in there somewhere, chocolate bunnies, that sort of thing. Of course, if you have those everywhere else, you don't want to add more. New pajamas, art supplies, sidewalk chalk, socks, little toy animals, just depending on the kid's age. There's all kinds of things you could do. Gift cards for teenagers, like to their favorite place to eat out, that sort of thing. So I think it's a fun idea to do a gift basket. But like you said, if you're spreading things out over 3 days, it may not be a basket. You might be spreading out little gifts throughout those days instead, whether it's nail polish or a new book or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to all be in one spot. Or you mentioned spreading it out over different Sundays. When would you start that? How many weeks before Easter?
So I'm sorry, that is after Easter. So to
After.
observe like, yeah, and from Easter until Ascension Sunday, which yeah, is kind of, I can't remember how the math works out. I just look it up every year, but it's somewhere in like May-ish,
Okay.
sometimes June. I think it can be as late as June. But yeah, just every Sunday, give them a small something. Sometimes it's a group gift. Yeah, something to say, hey, we're still partying.
Yes. That reminds me of the Advent calendar. I was going to say box because that's what we had in our house, but it's not always a box. Some people have little mittens or some people have little, I don't know, like something just slips into. But leading up to Christmas, they get to pull a little slip of paper out, or maybe it's chocolates. Every family does different things. But what's fun about that is it can be a great gift. It can be very simple. Sometimes in our box, it would say something like, go look at Christmas lights. And then at other times, it would be something bigger. Or maybe it's just a piece of chocolate for each child. So being able to have that flexibility is nice.
Yes.
And it's still special. It doesn't have to be some big, fabulous, expensive gift every Sunday for each child.
No. And I think a lot of times what I have in view is, you have summertime coming up and kids being home from school or off school if you're homeschooling, and trying to figure out ways to fill their time well. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe when we hit summer, they will wish that they had, or I will wish that I had supplied them with stuff to make something that they have been talking about wanting to make, that kind of thing. And for us, so my husband is a principal, and so the springtime is super busy for him. Yeah, so we have kind of tended to veer away from experiences because by the time we hit Sundays, we're pretty wiped out. But yeah, there's lots of options depending on your lifestyle. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. That spring and summer is just a really fun time. I feel like juices are flowing. You want to be doing all kinds of different things. So there's lots of ways to work that in.
Yeah, lots of inspiration. Well, I think it's just such a fun idea to do more at Easter, to try to create traditions that make Easter as celebratory as Christmas. We've put so much time and thought into making Christmas magical, just a fun time of celebration for weeks and weeks and weeks. And we've done less of that at Easter. So things like you're talking about is changing the tide. It's making Easter as celebratory or more celebratory than Christmas, which is how it should be. Thank you for sharing all that with us. Before we close, going back to the liturgy, which, just to remind everybody, does include song, scripture, kind of a question and answer, catechism type thing for, I guess, children and adults. Wine, chocolate. It's such a fun tradition that teaches children about what is happening and about Easter. Where can we find this? Is that accessible?
I think it is. Dave, my husband, sends it out to our church. We did it with our kids way back when. It's old. And I'm sure I can send you a link or a PDF or something.
Okay.
Because I know he sends it out every year.
I will find that PDF and post it if possible so that everyone can add this to their Feaster or Easter celebration as you wish. And it does start Monday before Easter. So you want to have it in place the week before so that and have your items in place, your wine and your chocolates. That would be a pretty important part, to pick out some really good chocolates. So I'll post that. I think it's 24 pages long, but at the end, that includes the songs that you need. You're not having to have a separate search for songs or go find it in your hymn book or whatever. It includes everything you need. So that will be good. I will post that.
And Kristina had a sweet idea. Did a few years, they did that with another family.
Oh, yeah. Our school tries to line up spring break either the week before or the week after Easter to kind of allow families to have a bigger Easter celebration. And so when it is before Easter, we're on break that week, and we have sometimes either just kind of chosen one family and said, hey, come over as many nights of the week as you can, and we'll have dinner and we'll do this together. Or sometimes we've just done different families. But part of the expectation was that, we're going to do this liturgy together. So come join us.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kim and Kristina, for sharing this with us. In here are so many great ideas. I think that we'll all be able to find something that we want to add to our Easter celebration.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Until next time, bye for now. Before you go, if you enjoyed this episode, take a second to follow the show and leave a review. It really helps the podcast grow and reach new listeners. Thanks for listening, and if someone came to mind during this conversation, be sure to share this episode with them. I'm going to leave that on there.